was in Grapevine Saturday night to screen her new movie It Ends With Us.
We're here to show the first like real screening of It Ends With Us to fans.
The movie was shown at the theater at Grapevine Mills exclusively for a few hundred attendees of Book Bonanza.
You'll see like some like maybe tape on the walls and like music that's gonna, the score is not done, things that'll tweak and change. But by and large, it's the movie you'll see, but please go see it again August 9th because it'll be even better. And we're nervous for you to see it today, but also just so excited because I feel like I can trust that you guys know that it's not totally done, but you'll still really love it.
Hey friends, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Now, whether you believe Blake Lively is an incredibly talented actress who's completely innocent, or you think she's a master manipulator who stole a film and ruined Justin Balan's career, one thing is certain. There is now undeniable video evidence from Book Bonanza in June 2024. And let me tell you, this footage makes it crystal clear that Blake had no intention of sharing the spotlight when it came to the creation of this film. This shocking video was recently leaked on Reddit, and when I first saw it, I swear my jaw hit the floor. Based on the timeline of events, it's clear that Blake was strategically making changes to the film, manipulating accusations of sexual harassment, and leveraging a retaliation clause to gain more power and control. She wasn't just making minor adjustments, she was systematically pushing for more influence over the project. Now, whether Blake will ever face legal consequences or have to compensate Justin Balan is yet to be seen. But as someone who is also a creator and has been part of productions on Netflix, including helping put together a docuseries, I fully understand the creative conflicts that arise in the industry. Disagreements between directors, producers, and other key players are common. It's just part of the process. However, what is absolutely not standard is completely disregarding the director's creative vision and overriding their authority. When I worked on the Netflix series Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult, I had my own ideas about where I wanted to take the project, but at the end of the day, the director had a clear vision, and we all respected that. The result? A docuseries that became a massive hit on Netflix, reaching over 15 million viewers and topping the charts in 28 different countries. And you know what? We put our creative differences aside for the greater good. Because delivering the message was more important than any one person's ego. That's how professionals operate in this industry. But sometimes, people just can't let go of their need for control. They have to be the star, the one in charge, the one getting all the accolades. And when I saw this leaked footage, it became painfully obvious that Blake Lively was only in it for the power, recognition, and status. She wasn't thinking about the film's integrity or the original creative vision. She was thinking about herself. I don't know if she will ever be legally held accountable for this, but from an ethical and creative standpoint, what she did was completely wrong. She intentionally disrupted someone else's artistic vision for her own gain. And it doesn't stop there. When she presented the film to Colleen Hoover's fans, she did something even more shocking. Just one day before that event, she fired the composer. An action that speaks volumes about her willingness to exert control at any cost. This whole situation raises a much bigger question about artistic integrity in Hollywood. When does creative influence turn into manipulation? Where is the line between collaboration and control? These are the conversations we need to have, because if something like this can happen to one director, it can happen to many more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Blake was just asserting herself as a producer, or do you believe she crossed a major ethical line? Let's talk about it. Music for the film wasn't even completed yet, and she was supposedly still working on the composition. But the truth is, she didn't even have a composer at that point. Let that sink in. Check this out.
Like some like maybe tape on the walls and like music that's gonna, the score is not done, things that'll tweak and change. But by and large, it's the movie you'll see, but please go see it again August 9th because it'll be even better. And we're nervous for you to see it today, but also just so excited because I feel like I can trust that you guys know that it's not totally done, but you'll still really love it.
My jaw was on the floor when I saw this because Book Bonanza took place in June, right? And while she was there on June 14th, they were showing the film to everyone. Just to be clear, Book Bonanza ran from June 12th to June 14th. During that time, she told everyone that the score wasn't finished, and they just needed to wait because it was still being worked on. But here's the kicker. There was already a completed score that had been fully paid for by Wayfair. She blatantly lied to them. Then, on June 17th, she made the unilateral decision to replace the composer with someone new. As a result, the original award-winning composer, who had already finished the score with a full and costly orchestra arrangement, was abruptly let go. And despite having no real authority to make this call, Lively went ahead and did it anyway. Wayfair and Sony were powerless to challenge her, even though this decision carried major financial consequences. They had to pay out the original composer in full while also absorbing the high cost of hiring a new composer so late in production. So, she shows the film to the audience and the music is missing, even though a complete score was ready to be implemented. She outright tells them, "We're still working on it. It's not finished." But then, after returning home from Book Bonanza, she fires the composer. Now, not only do they have to pay double for the same work, but she also brings in a brand new composer, one who had just finished working on Deadpool, and he only had 1 week to create an entirely new score. And let me tell you, when you actually hear the music in the film, it is so painfully generic. It sounds straight out of a 1990s rom-com, where they just throw in a popular song in every other scene. That's exactly what happened here. The music for It Ends With Us isn't original or creative. It's not a thoughtfully composed score. It's just licensed music from other artists, randomly inserted into the film. She didn't craft something unique. She essentially slapped a blank tape into the final cut. And if that wasn't bad enough, what happened after the film was shown truly stunned me. The audience's reaction and her response proved that, for her, this was never about artistic integrity or storytelling. It was about ego. She wanted the credit, the accolades, and the validation of being seen as the mastermind behind the film. And let's not forget, she specifically invited Isabel and Brandon to attend, paying for their trip and ensuring they only saw her version of the film. They weren't shown any other cut, and then she turned around and said they wouldn't promote the film unless it was her version. Of course, they hadn't seen anything else, so what choice did they really have? She also misled them by claiming that this was the very first group of people to ever see the film. But the truth is, her version had already been screened twice before, making it clear that she was controlling the narrative to suit her agenda.
You guys didn't even go high. This really means a lot to all of us. So, and Colleen is the mother. She really is my role here. Well, thank you for seeing it with us.
No, thank you for.
I love you all so much. Thank you. I was so excited y'all got to experience this with us. Thank you. And I hope y'all go back and see it again August 9th.
She had one goal in mind when she went to Book Bonanza: to make sure Isabel and Brandon were on her side. And beyond that, she wanted to play the hero for Colleen's fans, making sure they were fully backing her version of the film. When the screening ended, she acted as if she had just won an Oscar, hugging everyone and soaking in the praise like it was a Grammy-winning masterpiece. The people around her were congratulating her, feeding into this idea that she had single-handedly created something extraordinary. Now, imagine being the studio that financed and co-financed this film, along with all the production companies and employees who actually made it happen. The people who built the sets, cast the actors, wrote the scripts, directed the scenes, handled the insurance, scheduled every shoot, and made sure everything ran smoothly. They were the true backbone of this project, and yet she had no role in any of that. Instead, she managed to steal a PGA credit simply by attending Book Bonanza, presenting an unfinished version of the film, and rallying Colleen's fans to her side. By the time anyone realized what was happening, it was already too late. This was now the version that Ken had seen, the version Isabel had seen, and the version Brandon had seen. Naturally, they all became attached to it because it was the only version they knew. They never even had the opportunity to compare it to Justin's version. So how could they possibly determine which one was better? And here's what really gets me. I had to remove the audio, but at one point, she actually says, I suffer from toxic masculinity. I don't ever cry, and you guys made me cry. Seriously? Blake Lively claims she suffers from toxic masculinity? That statement alone is just beyond ridiculous. Well, no wonder she resents Justin. He's nothing like her. At the end of a film about domestic violence, she stands in front of the crowd and says, I suffer from toxic masculinity. You guys made me cry. Let's take a step back. This is a movie about domestic violence. And yet, here she is, making it about herself, using a term that has very real consequences and reducing it to a meaningless statement. Toxic masculinity refers to the harmful, socially constructed expectations and behaviors associated with traditional notions of manhood. These behaviors often lead to negative consequences for individuals and society, such as violence, emotional repression, and sexism. Examples include pressuring men to suppress their emotions, emphasizing power and control over others at the expense of well-being, normalizing aggression and risk-taking as masculine traits, devaluing women, rejecting femininity, and promoting sexism. There's also the issue of sexual entitlement, the belief that men have a right to sexual favors and that women should be submissive. Now, Blake Lively is claiming that this film, one she alleges involved sexual harassment, a rape scene, an attempted rape scene, and 3 separate incidents of violence against a woman, somehow led her to say, I suffer from toxic masculinity. Imagine sitting through an emotionally heavy movie about domestic violence, only to hear the lead actress make that kind of statement. It completely undermines the entire message of the film. And then, to make matters worse, she simultaneously wants people to believe that she was this meek, fragile woman when dealing with Justin. She wants to paint herself as someone who was victimized, yet under her own logic, if she truly believes she suffers from toxic masculinity, then she also believes she embodies the very traits that contribute to sexism, power imbalances, and entitlement. If she actually thinks she suffers from toxic masculinity, then by her own definition, she believes in male dominance and the entitlement to sex. So which is it? Blake Lively seems to believe that women should be devalued and rejected, that violence and risk-taking should be normalized, and that making light of serious topics is acceptable. She doesn't understand that her jokes aren't funny, and she's completely minimizing the weight of this film's message. When I watched how she acted in this clip, it became obvious to me that everything in her complaint is fabricated. Every single bit of it is a lie, and I have to say it. Maybe nobody else will, but I will. As someone who is a survivor of sexual assault, I can confidently say that a lingering kiss is not sexual assault. She is not a victim of sexual assault just because he discreetly bit her lip or because a kiss in a choreographed scene lasted a second too long. Do you know what statements like hers actually do to real survivors? They discredit us. They make our experiences seem trivial, as if what we went through is no different from a staged kiss that lingered slightly longer than expected. But that's not what real sexual assault is. Real sexual assault is violent, terrifying, and scarring. It's not a bite on the lip, it's not a playful nibble on the cheek, and it's not a choreographed moment in a film. It's something that haunts you. It's been 18 years for me, and I still think about it. The trauma never fully leaves you. But Blake? She just wants to play the victim. And for what? A so-called hostile work environment? Let's be honest. This is about money. Blake Lively only got paid $3 million for that film, and she's angry that she didn't get a cut of the profits. This lawsuit isn't about justice. It's about greed. She saw an opportunity to twist a narrative and use a serious issue to her advantage, all so she could extort money from the film's success. She wants the profits she believes she's owed, and she's willing to spin any story necessary to secure her share of the money, $350 million. That's what she feels is owed to her. And honestly, under any other circumstance, would she even need to sue? If this isn't about money, then what exactly is it about? What's the point of a civil lawsuit if not to get a financial payout? Let's be real. This is about money. She's furious that she didn't make the amount she believes she's entitled to from this film, and she's doing whatever it takes to get a cut. And the worst part? She lied. She lied to Colleen. She lied to Isabel. She lied to Brandon. She lied to every single cast and crew member involved in this production. And this isn't even the first time she's done something like this. Blake Lively has a long history of turning people against their own directors. Just look at what she did when she worked on Savages. She went on The Late Show with David Letterman and openly bragged about turning the entire crew against Oliver Stone. She even got them shirts that said, "I survived Oliver Stone." Now look, Oliver Stone might be eccentric, but he's also an Academy Award-winning director with a highly respected creative vision. And what did she do? She mocked him on national television. She has absolutely no respect for authority. And she truly believes she is the only one whose creative vision matters. She manipulates people, twists narratives, and convinces everyone around her that she's the hero of the story. And honestly, I've never been one to root for Justin to go all the way with this lawsuit, but after seeing all of this unfold, I want him to take this fight to the very end. I want him to win. I want him to take every last dime from her, all $400 million of it. Because this video proves everything. It's game over for her. But I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Drop a comment below and let's discuss. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.